On this episode of the Best of Bias Podcast, on an extra special episode of the Best of Bias Podcast, my birthday, we're going to talk a little bit of slight weight, pop culture, sports, and some cinema corner. Not too long of an episode today because it is my birthday, you know what I'm saying? We're doing a little traveling, but like I like to say, I'd be remiss if I didn't give you guys a little something to chew on when I'm doing some traveling. I've been missing a couple of weeks not giving you guys episodes because of my travels. And I think I'm gonna get in here and do an episode today on my birthday, episode 231, Best of Bias Podcast. It's your boy, Lydell Dinero. Let's get right to it. No long talking. Where that theme song at? It's right here. Yeah. It's the best of bias. You need the earful. You should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. Yeah. It's the best of bias. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lydell Dinero, and welcome to another episode of the Best of Bias Podcast. Again, it's our birthday episode of the Best of Bias Podcast because it is yours truly, Lydell Dinero's birthday today. I won't tell you how old I'm turning, but just know today is a celebration, not of only me, but of us here as a family. You know, Best of Bias Podcast. Happy to make it another year around this earth. Again, I might spit it out by the end of this podcast, tell you how old I am, even though I'm trying to keep it a secret now. But if you know who I am, you know who I be, you know how old I'm turning. You know what I'm saying? If you're the close ones. If not, just leave it as, as urban legend. You know what I'm saying? The ageless one. Lydell Dinero back at you with another episode of the Best of Bias Podcast. And as you heard in the opening, it is episode 231. I need season 3. I need to keep track of these episodes a little more often and tell you guys where we at. You know what I'm saying? Those who are keeping track, you know what I'm saying? Episode 231, season 3, season 4 coming at you real soon. New shit coming real soon with the new year. You know what I'm saying? Every year, a little bit of elevation, a little bit of improvement comes to the podcast by way of you guys, for viewing and giving me critiques. And just me personally, just wanting to upgrade the company, upgrade the business to make, us be so much more expansive rather than just be a podcast. You already know we merch gang, we writing shit, blah blah. I'm not gonna go into all that right now, but you know what it is. But it's time for another episode today, another podcast today. Again, we will be out there in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King weekend. If you're out there, listen to the pod, you about to be in Vegas, holla at me, hit me up. We're gonna be out there partying, you feel me? We may not be in the clubs, you feel me, but we're gonna try to do little lightweight things on the strip, maybe off the strip, find some little hidden gems, you know what I'm saying? We'll try to film a lot of stuff for you guys, keep you guys in the loop, you know what I mean? You know what's going on for the B-Day, around the B-Day, you know what I'm saying? Family, friends, you don't know who's gonna pop up, but it's gonna be a good weekend out there in Vegas if you guys can make it, you know what I'm saying? Celebrate your boy's birthday. Another year around the sun. You know what I'm saying? Just, trying to make it out here. One more year of wisdom, one more year of knowing what it takes, knowing, just realizing my mortality, not trying to get morbid in here or anything like that. But, I'm not getting any younger, moves have to be made. You feel me? So every time we come in here for a new year, you know what I'm saying? We always want to make sure we improving in some way, shape, or form, especially for the podcast, because you know where we started back in 2019 over at Hugo Twilight's house on the desk. You know what I'm saying? As we moved on and, he eventually no longer with the podcast, moved on to the garage out here. Then we moved from the garage into the office and there was nothing behind me to moving into what we are now, moving into the different content we had. It's just going to be more and more of that. I promise you guys that we're going to have some guests on real soon. No more of it just being me, you know what I'm saying, and hearing me blabber for hours at a time, you know what I'm saying, get some different perspective, get some different vibes. You want to vibe in here. You want to make the stew a little more vibey. So you're going to bring more people in. I'm trying to get, you know what I'm saying, Chelsea in here probably next pod. I'm gonna hit her up this week just so we can be on lock for next week. So we can get out here and start podding again, man. Get some topics, get some questions, some fan questions asked. Send me your questions, you know what I'm saying, down below or in the DMs or something, what you guys want to hear us talk about, you know what I'm saying? Maybe get a little off the current events and off the pop culture and just kind of, well, not off the pop culture per se, because it's still going to be questions in relation to pop culture, but just like a different vibe, a different setup, you know what I'm saying? So it's not always the same. Keep you guys guessing every time you click play. It's going to be something, it's going to be your bias nonetheless, but it's, just spice up the content that we give you. So just expect more 2025, aka still gonna keep blessing you with the videos, but just be sure because we already did a short, a little clip. If you guys didn't see the Lobo clip that we posted, Jason Momoa playing Lobo in the DCU, posted a little short on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I used to do a lot of clips, but now it's just more so the full form episodes. Again, once AKA finds more time, we'll get more content out there. I should learn to do some shit myself as well to be a little bit of a multitasker and get some more shit done. But we're learning little by little. But I'm telling you, 2025 is going to be the year of the Best of Bias podcast and Best of Bias media. I'm telling you right now. But without further ado, actually, also wanted to update and still send some more prayers out to the LA residents and everybody around the Palisades. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Hoping that, firefighters and everybody out there that's handling the fires, helping try to contain the fires, sending prayers out their ways and all the evacuees that are looking for ways to restart, ways to rebuild and get back to some sort of regularness in your lives or find places for your families to stay. Just find shelter, food, next meal, clothes to put on your backs. Sending prayers your way. I see a lot of volunteers out there in the LA community, celebrities more so, out there getting feet to the pavement, you know what I mean? And helping out people that may not be as fortunate as them. I love seeing that. Avion Crockett, the game, out there really helping out with the firefighters, with the volunteers out there helping out people that are really in need. So shouts out to those people. And again, prayers to all the victims. I did speak last episode about how the deaths were kind of minimal. I didn't really hear about many, but I heard the update. One life is too many, of course. But it was good to hear a lot of the people made it out. Recently, we had the Paradise fires up there by Chico. If you guys heard about that in Northern California out here, not, older people, there's a lot of deaths up there due to people not being able to escape from the raging fires up there in the hills. A lot of elderly being out there. RIP to all of them not able to make it out. And to hear that there wasn't much of that initially, I did report on that last episode, but now to hear that the death toll is up to 25 people, I just want to send my condolences and just be responsible enough to report that there was some other lives lost, and just want to send that massive RIP and prayers out to, again, all the victims and everybody out there still trying to get their lives back on track and just figure out the next steps. And again, shout out to all the volunteers. Again, the wildlife is just kind of devastating. Just the way seeing the map on the news, how the fire traveled up the hills and kind of just before it actually even reached to the residential areas, is how much wildlife and forest and mountainside the fire tore up and just destroyed. Just imagine the birds, the squirrels, the deers, all the animals out there just running for their lives, just being burnt alive. Yeah. And it seems like there's probably way more of that than human life, but not to try to equate them, just saying it's devastating either way. There's multiple lives, different types of lives lost. Yeah, and just to hear about the gouging that these that people are doing to try to get, people trying to buy and rebuild and buy supplies to rebuild their homes and things like that, and the price gouging that's going on, paying almost 200, 300% more for the items they need to rebuild their houses. It is just crazy. And I don't know, though selfishly, a lot of entertainment and stuff like that comes out of LA, and to say that, you know, stuff like that, something out there, um, is gonna, stuff out there is gonna slow down as far as entertainment goes. Just think about how long it's gonna take people to get their lives back on track. Because it's not like you can just build houses on the snap of a finger or anything like that. So it's really interesting. Um, but yeah, just prayers out to everybody there, and hopefully everything can get back on track sometime soon. Um, but yeah, prayers out before I get into anything that really doesn't matter as much. I just wanted to make sure that we are able to send our prayers and thoughts and prayers to people that are in need before I talk about the things as minute as football and pop culture. But yeah, let's get into that shit now, though. NFL last week was really devastating to everything I had going for myself. You know how I was rocking. I'm always about that Buccaneer life. But we'll get to that game. We'll go in order. I won't complain too much about what was going on. I know my coverage of the NFL is going to slow down a lot if you're on the Instagram. You could kind of see how I felt about the college football playoff as well. Hey, it's the best of bias, all right. It's my bias, and I'm gonna choose what the fuck excuse my language, put on the Instagram. But after Oregon lost, I was kind of like slowed down on the coverage a little bit. But NFL, I'm gonna do my due diligence. I ain't gonna be a poor sport. You know what I'm saying? Since the Buccaneers are out, I'm gonna keep on covering it no matter what happens, especially with the Super Bowl halftime and the Super Bowl coming up. I'm gonna keep the coverage coming, but I'm gonna be a little more less enthusiastic about. Excuse me. Let's start with the wild card weekend. This last weekend, made my predictions. Don't exactly remember who I picked, but I can probably tell you there's not hella games this week, so I can just kind of talk about them. Chargers at the Texans. I did want the Chargers to win. Texans were at home. They're down all those offensive pieces, so I didn't think they had it in them to actually beat the Chargers, who actually were on a hot streak. Defense playing amazing. Offense, yeah, still a little bit to be holding. Receivers, Quentin Johnston, Lad McConkey, rookie, going crazy, but everybody else was kind of iffy. And I mean, having a quarterback with a strong arm like Justin Herbert that's able to sling the rock, he was able to be really conservative with the ball throughout the season just because of how much they ran the ball in the Jim Harbaugh system. But trying to make plays, when you get down, you can't really stick to that type of play style. So you kind of do have to air it out. The receivers are really young still, not really knowing exactly how to get open. I wouldn't say how to get open, but like the fundamentals of being a receiver, they drop the ball, run the wrong route. Justin Herbert tried to throw the ball to where they make a play, but the defense will make a play on the ball before the receiver realizes where they need to be, or little things like that. And I'm not going to making excuses for Justin in this playoff game. 4 interceptions is crazy. He threw more interceptions in this one game that he did all season, which is nuts. And it's something that a quarterback is really going to have to show. Everybody's knocking Justin right now because they feel like he can't perform in the biggest of stages. I don't know. Everybody in the AFC quarterback wise gets a bunch of scrutiny just because they're not Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes won like three Super Bowls, three out of the last five Super Bowls type shit. So if you're not being held to that standard, not winning, people are going to doubt you and not really think you're living up to the name, especially the contracts these quarterbacks are getting. Um, it's wild. Not to cape for Justin or anything like that, but yeah, the pressure that's being put on him, he can't put up stinkers like he did this weekend. Though I'm sure they'll draft receivers or get free agency receivers to strengthen that offense to make it match the defense. This year, with Jim Harbaugh being the first year coach for the Chargers with Justin Herbert, I think they overachieved a little bit. Not to just take anything away from the Texans. Um, their defense played amazing. Will Anderson, and Danielle Hunter causing havoc for Justin Herbert. The defense, Stingley, Petrie, the DBs were, of course, picking off Justin Herbert and making it hell for him to get the ball to the receivers he wanted to go to. Um, so they put an all-around game together, even though they didn't have as many weapons as they thought they were going to have coming into the playoffs, like they thought they were going to have in the beginning of the season. They were able to make do and take advantage of, Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh's first year being together in the playoffs, and we're able to capitalize on that and continue their march towards that goal of dethroning Pat Mahomes as AFC champion. Yeah, so that game was 32-12, and the Chargers are going to Cancun. Next game, Steelers and Ravens. I don't even know why this was even, a playoff game. I mean, I know why, because they were hot. Steelers were hot in mid-season, got a hot streak. But when it mattered, they lost like 4 games in a row down the stretch, looked terrible. And in the playoffs, they performed terribly. 28-14. Ravens just kind of walked through them. The Bengals again should have been in the playoffs if they would have acted right at the beginning of the season. The offense and Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, they're performing crazy to try to keep themselves in contention toward the end of the season, but they didn't perform well enough in the beginning of the season to get into the playoffs, sneak into the playoffs towards the end. And they needed too much shit to happen for them to get in the playoffs, and they weren't able to do it. But performing in the beginning of the season, you wouldn't have to fucking try to make up towards the end of the season, obviously. You know what I'm saying? That's how math works, stupid niggas. Just playing, just playing. Take that back. I heard myself saying it in my head. I was like, let me not say that, but I said it. But I don't think y'all stupid. I was just doing it I was podding. My bad, y'all. Broncos versus the Bills. This was another slaughtering. My boy Bo Nix went in there. I have confidence in him because that defense, something could happen. The defense could stand strong. We know what Josh Allen is. We know what that offense brings. Adding Amari Cooper, having James Cook. Ray Davis is just going off as of late with Josh Allen. I thought, the Broncos could slow him down a little bit. And on the first drive, Franklin, Bo Nix threw with the Troy Franklin, the Oregon Duck connection. I thought they was going to do a little something. But after that first touchdown, they didn't score no more, even get close to scoring. The score ended up being 31-7, and the Bills advanced to play the Ravens. And then Houston, they're going to play the Chiefs since the Chiefs had the bye and they're waiting for the lower seeded winner. And they got the Texans. And the Texans are going to play the Chiefs now, and they're favored by a lot of points. But I'm hoping the Texans, I'll talk about that in my predictions, can pull through and have the upset. But NFC wise, we had the Packers play the Eagles, another blowout. Jordan Love, I think it's still a little too early for him still. The receiver's young, always getting hurt. I know they have a lot of receivers, a lot of talent, but they don't have a lot of consistent talent. Josh Jacobs was great this year, but if they shut down the run and the receivers are inconsistent, especially with Watson getting hurt before the playoff game, it kind of just threw a damper in their offensive game, and their defense wasn't able to slow down the Eagles' offense at all. I mean, even with the Eagles not playing right and fucking AJ Brown reading a book on the sidelines, being disgruntled and a distraction, they still were able to win the game, not even playing their best. So Eagles walked through them. The Commanders played the Buccaneers. Yeah, Commanders played the Buccaneers at home. I can get into this a little bit, I guess. Buccaneers were playing okay, man. I personally didn't really put much stock into us winning the championship. I was just kind of happy we made the playoffs and won our division, just so the fucking losers in our division we can just talk shit to, saying we won the division. At least win one playoff game to say we did it, and maybe even two to make it to the NFC Championship, just to say we improved from last year. But our defense wasn't good all year. I didn't think we were gonna have to be able to do enough to yet alone beat Washington, but beat another team after that. It was just bad. Antoine Winfield and Jamel Dean came back for this game, so it gave me a little bit of hope for our defense maybe being put together enough to stop Jaden Daniels and that offense, Terry McLaurin and everybody on their offense for Washington. But Jamel Dean is made out of glass. One time getting burnt by, well, multiple times getting burnt by Terry McLaurin. Somehow he ended up getting hurt and not playing anymore, leaving Isaac Hayes one-on-one with Terry McLaurin and getting cooked the rest of the game. Basically losing us. I wouldn't say losing us the game, but it added to our losing the game because we were doing well at the beginning, holding them, making sacks, shutting down their offense until a couple of bombs were given up by Jamel Dean. Oh, right over his fucking head to Terry McLaurin. And then, of course, when he starts getting cooked, all of a sudden there's a phantom injury and then he's out for the rest of the game. What happened to Jamel Dean? Oh, he hurt his cervix. But when he was on the ground, he was holding his shoulder. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Get him out of here, bro. Zion can hold down one side and we need to draft the best corner in the draft. It just doesn't make any sense for this man to be one of the highest paid corners on the team. If not, yeah, he's the highest paid corner on the team, if not in the league, and then just be so garbage. He's fast and he's tall. I get it. But whenever he plays or trying to play a ball, he looks like he's on ice skates or getting ready to commit a penalty or does commit a penalty. You know what I'm saying? I talked mess about Carlton Davis last year, him going to Lions and shit like that. And just for the fact that he was sorry as well. It's weird because every time I watch everybody else's corners in the NFL, nobody looks as sorry as ours do every year. And it's crazy. It's crazy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? We need to fix that. Come on, Jason, like fix that shit. But shouts out to Jaden Daniels because he was able to do what he needed to do to get his team first downs. They didn't punt the whole game, went for it on fourth down every time. And just little things like Jaden Daniels being able to break one tackle and get that extra yard, or our defense not wrapping up, him pushing the pocket, like little things like that were able to push the ball. The time of possession was super lopsided. They had the ball way longer than us through different ways. Like it was just crazy. And then when we did get the ball in the beginning of the game, we just a bunch of 3-and-outs. And then once we started to cook, we, just couldn't get the ball back. And it was just stupid shit happening, man. And then ultimately that fumble by Baker, we stopped them on fourth down ultimately one time. And Baker fumbled on the end around to McMillan. I don't know if he was supposed to give it to McMillan or he just hit him on the hip on a fake and he dropped the ball. Either way, we fumbled in the red zone, giving them the ball. Them being able to kick a field goal, waste all the timeout, and win by 3 was just really disappointing. It just goes further to show that our defensive coordinator and our head coach is washed. He's a defensive defensive-minded head coach, and he can't get the defense right. There's injuries, I get it, but there's free agents that signed with other teams all season that could have helped, that signed for nothing, that could have helped our defense. And we made the playoffs. I get it. You give him kudos for that, for putting together a makeshift defense on the moment. I don't. I said we had one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. And us doing that kept teams off even, just because they couldn't score with us. They couldn't score as many points. That's the only reason we won a bunch of games against sorrier competition, because we're able to score more points. The defense has been a burden all season, and he's a defensive guy that won't make changes. He sticks to guys that don't be needing to play, and he just keeps playing them. And then when adjustments need to be made, he doesn't make them. He doesn't draft the right guys. He plays crazy ass defenses. He doesn't know how to call timeouts. I mean, I don't want the brother fired. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about black coaches having jobs, but this fool's a fucking idiot. I mean, I can't say idiot because I don't mean that. I don't mean that. Because he does stupid shit, and it's been too many years now. Bruce Arians is the guy that won us the championship. He was a defensive coordinator and paid attention to only the defense. He just doesn't have the soul of the team. I feel like they play for him, but he doesn't rally the team. He shows no emotion, doesn't make any changes. We might lose our offensive coordinator to put us in the position to get to where we are now. That would be 2 years in a row we lost our offensive coordinators that made us better and got us to the playoffs, when we need to just promote these guys and pay them what they need to do to stay. And it's not about us because we lost. I want to shout out to Commanders for doing a good job in beating us. Rookie quarterback, first rookie quarterback, or the only rookie quarterback in the league to make it past the first round. So yeah, he's doing his thing, and they move on to play the Lions, who are waiting with the bye for the 1 seed. So it'll be Lions versus Commanders, and then we have Rams versus the Eagles. Oh yeah, well, I didn't talk about the Rams game yet. And then the Rams did play the Vikings. The Vikings, yeah, they didn't come to play. Sam Darnold turned into a pumpkin. I didn't expect the Rams to win the way that they did. The Rams did their thing, man. Everybody doubted them. They thought that the Vikings record, how they competed with the Lions for the number 1 seed throughout the season, that they were going to come out and just pulverize the Rams. But I think the Rams' young defense came out with something to prove, and I think they are going to be something to deal with in the playoffs. The young DBs, Jared Verse, the young offensive line or defensive linemen. Um, it's going to come all down to Matthew Stafford and that offense, how that offense plays. If they're able to put up points and score, their defense is going to be able to keep them in position to hold a team down, or at least for you to get up a score or two. You know what I mean? So them playing the Eagles, it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to stop Jalen Hurts. Saquon's been balling this year. We'll see how they do against a little bit, me personally, I like the Eagles' path to the NFC Championship, to have to be able to play the Packers and then play this Rams teams, which I feel like kind of got good towards the end of the season, and are just kind of finding their stride when you have a loaded team that's just trying to play their best set of football. If the Commanders can do them a favor and take out the Lions, they'll have the easiest road to the playoffs to the Super Bowl of all time. So we'll see how they perform. But again, the Rams did do their thing against the Vikings. They did have to play in Arizona due to them having to evacuate LA and take the game away from there due to the fire. They played with heavy hearts and they were able to get it done. So kudos to them. Again, they'll be playing the Eagles. And so with that being said, the divisional rounds is actually going to be Texans at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 8.5 points. I mean, I'm pulling for the Texans, but I kind of feel like you're playing against the Chiefs and the referees. I'm sorry to say it, Chiefs fans, but that's how it usually is. But my heart, I'm going to pick the Texans. This one, bettors don't go with me because I'm going with all underdogs here. I'm reaching for the stars and hoping for the stars, just hoping that, what I'm saying, something enjoyable for me personally, to watch in the Super Bowl, rather than people that, people are probably going for, that are probably going to win. But again, gamble at your own risk anyway. Texans at Chiefs. Again, I'm picking Texans, even though the Chiefs are favored by 8.5 at home. Commanders at the Lions. Lions are favored by 9.5 at home as well. These games are on Saturday because they're probably going to be blowouts. I don't understand why the Buccaneers Commanders game was the only game good so far in the playoffs. And it looks like after what's on the schedule here, the only good game that's going to be in this playoffs is going to be the Bills and the Ravens. Considering the spreads anyway. Then Sunday we have Rams at the Eagles. Eagles are at home, favored by 6 points. I think the Eagles are going to win this one. I don't think the Rams have enough to win in this one, so maybe I don't have all underdogs. But I do have the Ravens beating the Bills at home. I don't know how Ravens are favored by 1.5 points. The Bills have been pretty good all season. It's gonna be an interesting game. Again, that's gonna be the best game of the playoffs or the divisional round, anyways. But I do think the Ravens will win. It's gonna be a tough game, a really good game. Hopefully, we can watch it somewhere cool in Vegas. But I do got the Ravens winning that game. Yeah, so my picks, I got Texans beating the Chiefs in an upset at in Arrowhead. Then I got Commanders losing to the Lions at home. Then I have the Eagles beating the Rams at home, and then I have the Ravens beating the Bills in Buffalo. But yeah, moving on, let's talk a little NBA real quick, man. Nothing big, bro. Just checking in. Especially, it's kind of changing my mood because the Nuggets are playing the Rockets right now. I was planning to come here and say, oh, yeah, the Nuggets are back on track after yesterday's win, the two wins against the Mavericks. Yesterday, our team played incredibly good. Jokic, Gordon, everybody was fully healthy, and we did our thing. Murray coming back and scoring the 45 points, you know what I'm saying? Murray being fully back. But you know, we had a back-to-back today and we played Houston. Jokic sat, Aaron Gordon sat, and we were getting our asses kicked by and cooked by Houston. Houston is actually the number 2 seed right now, so they're actually playing pretty good. They're fully rostered. I think Jabari Smith maybe hurt and Easton, but they have so many players on Houston. Excuse me, that with those players out there, they can still do what it do. They're beating us right now, but I'm feeling good about the Nuggets. But I'm torn, man. I'm happy about Jamal. Don't get me wrong, Jamal being scoring that 45 is incredible, especially with what Jokic is doing this year with the emergence of Russell Westbrook. Our younger guys are playing well as well. I just want to see Michael Porter Jr. play really well when Jokic is out, especially if Jamal Murray and Westbrook are going to play like they're playing and be, score at least 20 points or with assists and rebounds as well, contributing in other ways. P. Watt playing defense, Christian Brown giving some offense. You can't have Michael Porter Jr. with 6 points, 8 points. We need 20, at least 25 points. We need you to play like you're a star when Jokic isn't playing and setting you up and taking all the attention away. You know what I'm saying? We can't just bank and get on Jamal Murray when he doesn't play well, when you're in the game too and not playing well at the same time and him getting all the blame. You know what I mean? Like 8 points it's unacceptable. You're playing against the Rockets. You should be going off. Nobody's 6'10" on the team that can guard you. You know what I'm saying? Westbrook's going to get you the ball. All the attention's going to be on Jamal. Like, what's going on, bro? It's not a trade deadline has not passed. Just because you played well yesterday, it has not solidified that you will not be traded for Zach LaVine. So if you want to show that you are not tradable, you're gonna have to play well way more consistently. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, Jamal is off the table. They're not trading Jamal. If anybody's gonna be traded, it's gonna be MPJ. So he needs to get his shit together and continue to play. We're the 4 seed right now. We could have moved into the 3 seed with a Grizzlies loss today. But since we're playing the 2 seed and we're about to lose, we're not going to make any headway in catching the 2 and 3 seed, and we're going to lose the game to fall back. So it's going to act like we going to need to win 2 more to catch it. You know how math works, and that shit's kind of fucked up. And I'm not really happy about it, but you know what I'm saying? I wasn't as hesitant to talk about the Nuggets as I am now. I think we're back on track, and if Jamal Murray is back like he was last night, we can make some noise and make a run. I'm not going to count my eggs before they're hatched, but it's a little check-in. Nothing really much going on in the NBA. Slow. Nothing trade deadline talks have really slowed down. Jimmy Butler mostly is the talk of the town, him being pretty much suspended from Miami due to like going against team standards or some bullshit. Basically, he wants to be traded. He's been really outward about it. They don't want to trade him or don't want to satisfy his trade request because he's asking out and being really arrogant about it. And it's a dick swinging contest, of course. And they went ahead and suspended him and just basically told him if you don't want to be on the team, we're not going to pay you. We're just going to sit you out. And what you're doing is detrimental to the team. So we're going to sit you out. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting ugly. Who knows where he's going to go? There is beef with his agent and Shams for saying that he wanted to go to Phoenix. Then it came out that he did want to go to Phoenix. It's ugly. Bradley Beal is kind of the same deal out there in Phoenix, or excuse me, out there in Phoenix. Maybe they can swap for each other, but it's looking ugly for him. The team is not vibing and they want to trade him, but nobody wants anything on the Suns right now. Everybody thought when they added Bradley Beal to Kevin Durant and Booker that everything was going to go swimmingly, but it's not. Booker actually got hurt. Kevin Durant got hurt. And it's just not vibing. And then the Suns are really bad right now. So they're looking to ship him off, but nobody wants him. So it's looking ugly over there. The whole Zach LaVine and Michael Porter Jr. thing kind of went silent with the fact that Michael Porter and we're winning games and he was playing better. So that kind of got quiet. Uh, but I don't know, man. It's not NBA. It's nothing really exciting happening right now, man. The lull of the regular season. I mean, you're talking about ratings going down. I don't really see much. You know, it's not really tune in every day kind of like viewing nowadays. The referees are calling bullshit. They're throwing players out for no reason. A lot of blowouts. I don't know. I guess, we're gonna have to do some other shit to in-season tournament and play-in tournaments and all this shit that they're putting in gets more views in the regular season. We're gonna have to change some shit up again, and the game is just gonna get really diluted unless, I don't know. I don't care. I just want the Nuggets to win the championship. I don't care if anybody watches. If I'm the only one watching the Nuggets win the championship, I'll be fine with it. But with the Warriors and Lakers being trash, I guess the Lakers aren't really trash. They're not just, I don't know why they're not as in the forefront this year. They're not, because when they were the 10, 11, 12 seed, everybody was talking about them every day. Now they're like the 6 and 7 seed, actually in the playoff standing. Nobody wants to talk about them no more because they suck. Yeah, it's weird. They want to talk about LeBron for the wrong things now, the whole Drake situation, and I won't get into that because that shit is just bullshit to me. I can't. I really can't. I can't. I cannot fathom that Drake would try to do what he's trying to do to LeBron. I would not go down that road, and I don't want to spend time talking about it. But NBA wise, yeah, nothing much going on. I just wanted to talk to y'all a little bit more about the Nuggets being back. But there is something I want to talk to y'all about. There is something I want to talk to y'all about. Have y'all been let me get dual cameras on there. Let me get a little hold on. Let me get a little dual cameras. Hey, y'all be swerve on that corner. Whoa, whoa. Y'all been swerving? Y'all been bending corners? Y'all heard about that song? Jello Ball, Leangelo Ball, new single, Tweaker taking the country by storm. Man, it's interesting to me because it actually started off as a parody song, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys felt it was a hit from get-go, that's your prerogative, and I appreciate that. But me, I thought it was like a parody song. People were making fun of it, how it sounded like a 1999 Cash Money song, you know what I'm saying, a 2000 song. People was throwing on the 2000s Atlanta Fits and doing the crank that to the song and shit like that. I thought people were making fun of it, but over time, I don't know. He must have found the algorithm or something in people's brains, but he got something that just stuck in people's head and made it unforgettable. I might swerve in the corner. Whoa, whoa. Find yourself saying that every 5 or 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It got stuck in your head. And you know what I'm saying? We knew LeAngelo Ball would find his lane somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because LeVar Ball told us all his sons was going to be stars, some way, shape, or form. And then basically people were like, oh, this song is getting catchy. We heard it on NBA TNT Countdown and shit like that. NBA Countdown, people playing it everywhere. They talk about it on podcasts and stuff. And as people caught on to it, it comes out that he gets a deal with UMG and Sony for what, $13 million off that song? I'm trying to bend some corners too, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? To make you want to get back in the studio and put out a song. It is a cool song, but is it warranted for $13 million? Is it the record company slapping everybody in the face that actually tries to make music? Is like, look, we got somebody famous in a song that's popping. We're gonna give this person all the money, but if you're a legitimately good artist, we're gonna fuck you out of all your money and all your publishing. But hey, enjoy this Jello Ball song that we're gonna make popping and put it all over the airwaves. Because I've never heard a celebrity or actual artist song get that popping so fast. I don't know if they playing in our face and telling us that this is the best song ever when it's I ain't gonna hate. But hey, Leangelo Ball, share that secret sauce because we need to figure out what you do to get a deal. And you got another one in the tuck? You got another hit in the tuck? What's going on? But for now, we're gonna keep on swerving, bend that corner. Whoa, whoa. Yeah. Anyways, I'm back to y'all. But it's interesting, right? It's interesting, right? How you see people try their whole lives to make a song, make a hit, catch one. But Jello Ball puts out a song that everybody's making fun of, but he gets paid for that and keeps all his publishing, mind you. They said you get $13 million $8 million, however much he actually gets, and you keep your publishing to all the songs you make. That's gonna be kind of crazy because now I feel like just off his popularity of him being LiAngelo Ball, Lonzo Ball's brother, and if they actually say, okay, LiAngelo Ball produced, Lonzo Ball helped write on this album, and that gains their fans to go out and buy the album. What if he puts it directly for purchase only? The independent route that everybody's doing nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Sell the album for $1, $2, $5 online for you to purchase. You know what I'm saying? And you get all those $5 purchases directly to you as an artist, not having to give it to the company or anything like that. Just imagine all the fans buying a $5 album. Just imagine. You'll make more money than any new artist has made in a long time if you put the business together right. And I'm sure LeVar Ball is gonna have that business right for them. So that's kind of crazy. Kind of really, really crazy to think about. Also crazy to think about is TikTok. I was really hesitant to put this shit on my Instagram, put it on the Best of Bias Instagram, to even bring it up, just because this has been happening for years now. People trying to talk me into actually using TikTok when I was hesitant to use TikTok. They're like, you have to use it to get your business acumen right, to get your followers up, to get your marketing, to get your shit out. And I do believe it, and I did try. I did really try. But to now hear that they're just gonna effective immediately discontinue the app was originally January 9th, but then they started going to delay it and give them like an expansion, a 27-day or whatever day to appeal it. And then you heard about a bunch of billionaires, millionaires trying to get together to buy the app, which I think maybe still is going to happen, to be 100% honest. I think somebody's going to come and buy it at the last second. That's why me reporting on it even now, I should have waited till it actually happened to report on it because I actually feel like somebody's going to pull a whoopsie doozy on me by the end of the week after I come back from my birthday vacation. They'll be like, oh, TikTok was bought by Mr. Beast and Elon Musk together to make the super app. It's not called TikTok anymore, but it's called like some shit's going to go down. And it's going to be like, this is why I didn't report on it because that shit's not actually going anywhere. But I do see a lot of TikTok streamers and influencers getting really upset because their way of life is being disrupted by this instant ban of TikTok. But me personally, I feel like you had to know it was coming because they've been threatening it for a long time, and for them to actually pull the trigger and do it, um, you have to be expecting that. Hopefully, transitioning your fan base to another app, getting your prowess ready in another app, just so you can be ready for this change. Because I guess this time they're really serious. I guess their beef with it is a Chinese company, and I guess they're mining data, and they don't want the Chinese company mining all of our data and using it for some reason. I don't know. Whatever beef these big companies and these government, you know, regulations have in place, uh, I don't know. But me personally, I really didn't have a big following on there. I'm still trying to grow my following on social media in general. So TikTok, man, I'm sorry I didn't spend countless hours trying to put shit together for you guys to grow. But if you guys survive this, I'm still more than happy to try to make my way on there and try to build it. But ooh, good thing I didn't put my blood, sweat, and tears into it if it is about to end, because that'll be really devastating. I saw somebody on there, some girl complaining, I have $1,000 car note, I have bills I have to pay, have a G-Wagon that I have to pay off from my quality of life from being a streamer, and for me to just be able to stop. I don't know, man. People be doing shit. I think she was just trying to go viral off of saying that, and really she ain't hurting, but I don't know. People that are streaming and feel like on TikTok and are tripping about having to diversify and finding something else to do or having to get a real job, you kind of had to expect because waves change, things change. You got to have a backup plan if you want to be successful anyway. So hopefully you guys did and can kind of like pivot so you can keep making that bread. If not, you're gonna have to dust that resume off. You feel me? But let me know how you guys feel about TikTok going under. Let me know if you think they really gonna go under, because they've been threatening it for a long time, but who knows what's really happening. And then let me see, that's the end of pop culture. Anime check-in. I hope you guys almost, mosey on in the cinema corner with y'all real quick. Just breeze through a couple of things. Anime check-in, Sakamoto Days, new anime on Netflix, new shit going crazy. I'm loving what Netflix is doing with their new anime. They're having a really high success rate. Blue-Eyed Samurai, that was fire. And this one here, Sakamoto Days, and of course Dan to Dan is amazing, but Sakamoto Days is amazing as well. Again, the art is crazy, the story is crazy. This assassin was a super assassin back in the day. And I mean super assassin. I'm not talking no James Bond shit. I'm talking about this motherfucker had basically superpowers, the way he was killing shit. Check it out. And then he retired and had a family, met a girl, had a family, retired, got fat, and started to run a noodle shop. But somebody in his past life comes and finds him in his noodle shop and is trying to bring up his past and threaten him into coming out of retirement or, bad shit's gonna happen to him. So though he is fat and retired, he still got all the powers in the hands that he had when he was an assassin at his top peak level. You know what I'm saying? He may not be at his top peak level, but just below his peak level was still better than every motherfucker in the world. So check that out. It's so good that they're dropping it episodically every Saturday on Netflix. So check that out. Sakamoto Days. You will not be so disappointed. Some Marvel news here. We're hearing some good news about Black Panther. I guess Denzel Washington spoiled Black Panther 3 about it being released and him being in it. I didn't think that was true. Everybody knew there was going to be a Black Panther 3 eventually, but we just didn't know what the plot was going to be. I don't think knowing Denzel Washington was going to be in it spoiled anything either, because we don't necessarily know who he's going to be yet. I think he's going to be a villain, but we don't know exactly who he's going to be. We have hunches, but we don't exactly know. So I'm not blaming him for spoiling anything. But we did find out is that we are going to possibly more than likely, and I hope this is gonna happen, and maybe they can go both ways, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna recast T'Challa, bring in they heard the fan requests, and they're gonna bring in alternate universes T'Challa in. It's not gonna be Chadwick Boseman, of course, RIP Chadwick Boseman, but they're gonna bring in a new actor to play T'Challa that's gonna come across from an alternate universe. They're looking at Aldous Hodge. Excuse me, he's currently playing the main lead detective in Cross. He also played Hawkman in what is it, Black Adam. So you know what I'm saying? He's kind of already because he was the rich kind of like tech guy in Hawkeye. I mean, excuse me, in Black Adam when he was Hawkman. Um, so him being Black Panther, it's probably gonna be very similar. Being from Wakanda, being rich. I don't know how he's gonna do the African accent. I think he can do the African accent. I'm pretty sure. And it also was said that a lot of actors that were supposed to take the position to try to recast T'Challa or Chadwick Boseman, um, like Damson Idris, fuck, I forgot his name, bruh from Star Wars, black dude from Star Wars who played the newest Star Wars with Rey. I forgot exactly what his name was. Uh, what's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. And pause, but I don't remember his name. But anyways, I think Damson Idris could still play a grown-up version of T'Challa's son. I think that's still in the running because that was going to be the alternate thing that we're going to do if they didn't recast T'Challa. They're going to just make T'Challa's son grow up and just take the mantle of the Black Panther from Shuri. I don't know if they're going to actually still do that, but I feel like they can still do that and bring in an alternate universe as T'Challa, have one of them die, and then have a way to explain them taking it over. You know what I mean? Or something like that. I just feel like Black Panther again is too big of a character for you just to have him completely gone just because Chadwick Boseman died. Not saying that him dying is minor, just saying that he's so much more of a character that you need to keep the legacy going, keep the character going. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can't just kill. Like, come on now. They've done recasting with Batman, Superman. We're not going to mind with T'Challa, I promise you guys. The money you'll make for merchandising for keeping T'Challa alive will make way more money than having Shuri as Black Panther. I get it, she was Black Panther in some comics, but it's time. Recast, and I'm sure Chadwick Boseman will look down and be like, "Man, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing." Because in a sense, you are keeping his legacy alive by keeping the character alive. You know what I mean? Though you had him die and did the whole funeral thing in Wakanda too. Again, the alternate universe can just undo it and you ain't even got to think about it too much. And I'm sure the fans will be excited about that. But what do you guys think about recasting T'Challa? Do you think it's a good idea? What do you think about Aldous Hodge? Who do you think should play T'Challa? Let me see what else we got. Daredevil trailer. We just got that. Really exciting stuff, man. I don't know if you guys watched the Netflix Daredevil, but this is supposed to be a continuation of that. That was supposed to be canon. It looks like we are going to get a lot of those street level characters from the Netflix shows. Danny Rand. I don't know if we're necessarily going to get Danny Rand Iron Fist, the same one, but I know we are going to get Luke Cage. Hopefully, we get Jessica Jones. That'll be sick. But just seeing the storyline and what's going on and the action that happens, seeing the Punisher back, seeing the whole Daredevil, mantra comeback is cool. Just seeing how much he does get his ass whooped, how good of a fighter he is, but he does take an ass whooping, and it just shows kind of more so the realistic side of superheroes. Superheroes and shit like that. You see him whoop people's asses all the time, especially common people. But you see Daredevil really out there boxing with regular people and showing that he is blind, but can really fight, can really use his other senses to be a badass. You see the conflict with Kingpin continue. I don't know if this is before or after Echo, because he should have one eye, right? Because he got shot in the eye by Echo. So I don't know if this is before or after that. They said it's going to keep the goriness, if not have more gore than the Netflix stuff. I don't really believe that. There's a lot of sex in that. I don't know if they're going to bring all that sex to Disney Plus. But we are ushering in a new era of the MCU, a little darker side of the MCU. So that could be pretty interesting to see what they do with that. But I'm excited. March 4th is the date that is coming out. If you haven't seen the trailer, check it out now. I did post a story on the Best of Bias podcast. Check that out as well. And then let me see, lastly, Skeleton Crew on Disney Plus. Since we are talking about it, the finale just came or just passed or came out yesterday. I don't know if you've seen it or not. I just finished watching it today. It was cool. It wasn't as bad as Acolyte. I don't think even think it was bad. I'll just call it okay. You know what I mean? It was kind of like a Goonies kind of kids kind of adventure side of the Star Wars. It was interesting. The build up was cool. The Jude Law's character, the pirate dude, I forgot his name exactly. But him turning, what I'm saying, that was kind of expected. But him from episode 9 to 10, whatever the last two episodes were, like him opening the reserve and having access to all the gold to the next episode. Um, his master plan of trying to get all the gold off of the planet or just trying to take over the planet to have the gold for himself. It wasn't really drawn out or done well in the finale because, first of all, the plan was foiled really easy. And then right after the plan was foiled, it just kind of ended as fast as it started. You would think that the conflict of his plan being spoiled and him trying to follow through for his plan would last at least an episode and a half, but they kind of got through it really fast. I don't know if it was part of the writer's strike that made them have to rush the ending, but it was really rushed. It just seems like, oh, the kids were in trouble and the bad guy was going to win, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, the good guys were able to call help, and then it was over. Like, yeah, and I don't know. Just for the fact also that a bunch of kids are stopping a Jedi that wasn't afraid, I guess, didn't really want to kill people, I guess, but could have killed everybody if he really wanted to get away with his master plan, but didn't and was defeated by kids. And was he really a Jedi or I don't know. I don't know. It just left more wanting to be answered. It did the whole thing like the Acolyte. It opened up a whole bunch, but then closed it right before they answered what could have been once they opened up this new Pandora's box. You can't close Pandora's box, you feel me? But at least explain what's coming out of Pandora's box before you leave it cracked. You feel me? I don't know. But check it out yourself. Again, it's on Disney Plus right now. If you haven't seen any of it, guess what? You can binge it all. Silo, I'm watching that as well. Every Friday comes out. It's out today. It's been good this season. It started a little slow, but it sped up a lot. And it's interesting to see what's going on in the new Silo that I forgot her name too. The main character has traveled to after, being sent to clean, and she survived getting to the next silo and all the shit that she's going through with Solo and the people that actually survived there. They're tying together what was happening to her towards the beginning when a bunch of weird shit was happening to her. So that was good to see too, man. Check that out if you haven't seen it. A lot of good shit on TV right now. Go check it all out. One of these days we'll get another review going. We'll get some people on here that ain't scared to talk about some TV shows so I can get more in-depth reviews. But hey, this is the end of the episode, man. Pretty quick and concise birthday episode. I gotta get out here and party. Again, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably in Vegas when this is released. You can sing happy birthday to me right now. I'll wait. Whatever version you want, go ahead. No, I'm just playing. But send me some love, man. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. If you guys have been wishing me birthday today, happy birthday tonight or today. If you haven't, it's never too late. I'll take some belateds too in the DMs down below whenever you're watching this video. It's all good. But this is the end of the podcast where I let them know where they can find me at. It's SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. It's still Best of Bias on Instagram. Of course, we haven't changed. We're trying to get those followers up. So follow, tell your friends. Let's get these followers up, man. I'm trying to break that 1,000. We're losing followers every day, but we're trying to gain some too. So I'm saying I'm trying to keep you guys interested. I'm sorry I don't post as much as I need to be posting, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And while we still have TikTok, Best of Bias is on there too, trying to get the clips and stuff from every pod that has come out on there as well to let you guys know it's popping. If you're on TikTok more than you are on Instagram and more than you are on Snapchat, you already know the vibes. But it is Lydell Dinero, 1 year older. Merch still available. Hats, dad hats, beanies, bucket hats, whatever type hats you want. And new hats coming soon. They don't all have the hard eyes. Believe me. I have plenty of the other patches available. You know what I'm saying? They're just waiting to get made. We can do make to order. Just let me know. We got plenty of stuff in the works, more content, more guests, more life. 2025 will be our year. You know what I'm saying? Best of Bias Media. We ain't going nowhere. Best of Bias Podcast. More and more episodes every week. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't leave you guys with no gap before my birthday. You know what I'm saying? So I'm feeding the streets before I feed myself. Hey, it's the Best of Bias Podcast. Where that theme song at? And thank y'all. Episode 231 in the book, season 3. Baby, it's your boy. It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Best of bias, yeah.